should be live. Should be. Twitch is thinking.
Thinking if we're live or not.
Yeah. It's really considering it. Yeah, there we go. I had to update it a couple times to get it to even recognize that we were actually live.
Better late than never.
So how's your Sunday been?
Pretty good. Did some chores, did some shopping, made some banana bread.
That sounds good.
It was. Turns out bananas taste good.
Yeah, who would have thought?
We have to tell people about this.
There was a time in my life where I actually liked bananas a little bit green. Can you imagine?
Like a little on the underripe side.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little underripe.
No.
But
you got to get the best banana is the perfectly ripe banana.
Well, yeah,
which happens for all of about 3 hours. You really got to catch them at the right time. And not all bananas can even go perfectly ripe. Some of them go from unripened to overripened, never actually hitting that perfectly ripe stage.
Well, there has to be a period where they do hit that, just transitionary, right?
Well, because they're, they ripen when you take them off the tree. If you get really, really green bananas, sometimes those don't even ripen before they start to spoil.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, luckily bananas are still pretty good after a little being overripe.
Oh yeah. I'm fine with them overripe, but man, that perfectly ripe, that's the best. Almost juicy, even juicy bananas.
I wouldn't say juicy. I would never describe a banana as juicy.
I've definitely had dry bananas before.
How's it? Well, I guess when it's like underripe, right? There's like this. I don't know how to put it. It's like it makes your mouth taste like
starchy.
Starchy. That's the word. So I think I know what you mean there.
But even when some are just past ripe, they can be a little bit dry. I've had a lot of bananas.
How many bananas do you think you've had in your lifetime, Sam? If you had to estimate.
Fuck, okay. Well,
could you estimate?
Probably well over 5,000, if I had to guess.
That's a lot of bananas.
Probably close to 10,000. Because I have one just about every day.
I was about to say 10,000. That's that's probably around your age.
Yeah, I have one every day, and sometimes I have more than one. So I'm a banana boy.
You're a potassium fiend.
Mm-hmm. I could probably just live off of bananas.
I think they lack some essential vitamins.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I like eating them.
Don't think they have too much protein in them.
No, probably not. What if I eat the peel too?
Is that I think it's just all that's just all fiber.
I think there's potassium in the peel as well.
Well, yeah, but if you're eating a banana for everything, I don't think potassium deficiency is going to be your problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, you can do it with potatoes. Potatoes and a little bit of butter. That's literally...
That's true, but potatoes are like a super vegetable.
Staple food, if you will.
Yes. Hearty.
See, I really don't consider potatoes vegetables because it feels like there's no good way to cook them where it's not inherently worse for you than some other vegetable, right?
What do you mean?
Like if you have a baked potato, right? Don't even put anything on it. It feels like you're eating bread compared to, say, you have roasted broccoli. That feels like a vegetable.
I mean, potatoes are very starchy. I wouldn't compare a potato to bread.
Why is there potato bread then, Cooper?
Okay, well, that doesn't mean
gotcha
bread
there.
is potato. Okay, you got me. peanut butter and jelly potato.
I'm saying there are worse things you could substitute for bread than a slice of potato.
There's worse things, certainly. Certainly better things.
Yeah, like tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get started? This one's probably going to be a pretty long one since it's
going to be a pretty chunky boy.
A chunky album.
I'm ready to jump in.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop podcast. This week we listened to Omnium Gatherum by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and this is their latest album, as opposed to Made in Timeland, which was not
reviewed last
album.
week.
Yeah,
which was their second latest. They released that a measly a month and a half ago.
Yeah, so
this one they released.
Both of these came out in March, right?
Yes. No. This one came out. Actually, yeah, it did come out March. No, sorry, it was announced March. It came out. What was the exact date? April 22nd. So it came out last week. So not last Friday, but the Friday.
Oh fuck! It's May. Jesus, where'd the year go? What the fuck?
What do you mean? It's been 5 months.
I was like, what are you, Cooper? April 22nd.
2022.
April just started. What are you talking about?
2022 is almost halfway over, Sam. What are you doing?
What? What have we been doing?
Hey, Grandpa.
Where am I?
Who is this? Who am I?
What year is it? Anyway,
yeah,
King Gizzard.
I mean, King Gizzard, we've already talked about them quite a few times on this podcast, including last week's episode.
We probably don't have to go too dense into
just Australian rock band. This is their 20th studio album, and their first double album. It's their first studio recording since the COVID-19 pandemic. So all the other ones they've recorded since that started were all recorded remotely during lockdown. So this is kind of their reunion album live to say, and it's kind of a celebration of them as a band as a whole. They're calling it their turning point in their career of how they're going to change and record music for a while. So it's kind of like them entering their jamming session.
Okay.
So it's kind of a little celebration for them to be back in the recording studio.
It definitely kind of shows compared to Timeland, that's for sure.
The Timeland's like a little bit of a holdover thing, while this one's more of a,
proper.
I guess, kind of going all out sort of thing.
You're not a real album, Timeland.
No, it's certainly it's a bit of a. I mean, it is an album. It's just a lot of very experimental album.
That's for sure.
This one has some more traditional songs for the most part, or song structures.
Well, you say that, but we should get into track number one.
Yes, as I say that, track number one.
The 18-minute...
18-minute epic, The Dripping Tap.
This is what the first song of the shoegaze, right?
No, it's not. You can't just say that about every song that's kind of loud.
This has to be shoegaze. It's a wall of sound. Isn't that the only prerequisite?
No. This is too energetic, or it's not too energetic. It's too discernible.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no, they opened their first double album with a 18-minute song.
And honestly, for how long it is, it's kind of samey throughout, which actually doesn't hurt it really. There's a couple of, there's a big breakdown at 120 where there's too many electric guitars to count and a dude going ham on the drums, which is like right at the start of the song. It takes like a minute 20 to start the song really. And then it just kind of vibes from there.
Yeah, it's a very, it's an 18-minute song, so obviously they can't just be introducing everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of impressive how the song's able to have like a bit of a progression. I mean, it starts with a little soft rock before it gets to the serious, which, like you said, at like the 120 mark. But even though they kind of slowly spaced it out there at the song of like having, vocal breakdowns, a lot of guitar just solos, or maybe focuses, while kind of maintaining the synth form groove of it all.
Yeah, and I mean the guitar solos are pretty dang good too. Don't downplay the guitar solos.
Oh no! It sounds like they're having a lot of fun with them. You can really tell they were just having a good old jam session on this one.
Mm-hmm. And you get a little bit of vocals in there, and you got that classic King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard crust filter that they put on the vocals, where it's falsetto and somewhat far away.
They do use that a couple times on this album.
They use it on every album for the most part.
Hey, if it works.
Yeah, it's their sound.
Yeah, no, it's a supercharged song. I mean, beyond just, being 18 minutes long, it's keeping a high energy throughout most of it. It's got this, like, cool, like, dueling guitar section at, like, the 11-minute part where they kind of play in harmony. And the drums are just popping off the entire time in the song.
Yeah, well, at that 11-minute mark as well, it's dueling guitars, but one is much slower and lower energy than the other one, so it's swapping back and forth before it pops back into the vocals. But they only have 2 lines, and they sing that for about the next 4 minutes ish.
Vocalists aren't as varied, but you have to admit it's kind of a catchy hook.
Oh, it is. Yeah, as long as you
from the tack, don't slip.
it gets old really quick. Especially with how high in the mix they are. But if you're not sitting and writing about the song as it plays, it's completely fine. I had it on while I was doing something else, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was getting into the groove. But when I sat down and was writing about it, it was like, okay, I'm getting real sick of this real quick, because there's a lot of things in music that if you focus on them too hard, kind of breaks.
Oh, I wasn't getting sick of this. It's like a perfect like running song. It's like high energy for so long.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I was just towards the end of it when I was writing, it was like, okay, it's a bit too much because you're
no. I think it has good momentum throughout the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somehow builds into an 18-minute song. Like it's not like a rock opera type thing where there's like sections.
No, it's the whole song.
It's like the whole song's pretty much a song. Not with like segments or such. Obviously they go into like guitar solos and like vocal breaks and stuff, but it's all the typical song structure just kind of stretched out to its like logical limit.
But it works too. That's the thing that's weird about it. It works really well.
I think part of it's because you can tell they're having like a real fun time just jamming out. A lot of spirited performances, even if there's not as much vocals in it.
Yeah. No one section goes on for about more than 3 minutes either. It's constantly kind of shifting. It might revisit a section, but it is constantly shifting. New stuff coming in. The vocalist plowing straight through a breakdown. Overall, good song.
I mean, it's pretty impressive they were able to make a 18-minute song that you don't get sick of.
Yeah, that is impressive. Jump to track number 2 if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 2, Magenta Mountain, which is quite different from the first song.
Yeah, which is kind of needed since the first one was 18 minutes
That's
long.
True. You can't really have a similar song to then it just becomes like a 23-minute song. No, but Magenta Mountain's a lot more soft rock, a little more whimsical.
Yeah, it's got some nice vibing synth to start there. Just amazing drums again. I don't know who I can't remember the drummer's name, but he's just on it.
He's on it for this entire album.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah, the whole album's great on the drums. It's a bit bare when the vocals first come in this one, but that's comparing it to the previous song, so it's a nice little respite. We don't need it to be balls to the walls 100% all the time.
Yeah, vocals are a little more wispy.
Mm-hmm.
But given the kind of shinier feeling of the song, I think it works. And yeah, I think we needed a little softer song after.
Yeah.
the burst that you got with Dripping Tap.
But around the 3-minute mark in this one, you mentioned wispier vocals, but the filter comes off the vocals at 3 minutes. I don't know if you noticed, as they shift from being the main focus to part of the backing track. It was a really interesting effect. I really like that. And they do some really interesting things with vocal filtering throughout this whole album. When the focus changes, they change the filter, which I think is a really nice effect.
Yeah, there's some very high vocals at the 3-minute mark as the groove kind of continues underneath it. I also like the little instrumentation break at the 4-minute mark, where it's mostly just the vocals before it kind of breaks down back into the instrumentation. It's almost like they're so high they almost sound like female vocals.
Yeah, they are big fans of falsetto on this album.
Not to say they've never dabbled in falsetto.
No.
We've reviewed sketches of Brunswick East. And
yeah.
It's no stranger on that album.
I mean, it's a good sound. I like it. I will say for this one, the only thing I wasn't a big fan of was the 20-second fade, which didn't really fit with the feel the song had, in my opinion. It was too mellow, almost. I feel like the fade is more of a rock kind of thing. And am I hallucinating this, or did they like start a drum hit on the end of this song to start the next one, even though they faded out completely this song?
Throughout the album, they kind of, some of the songs are like, they start on the previous song, kind of.
Yeah, which they did better later because it is an actual transition, but this one is they faded to nothing and then started the song on this song, which doesn't count as run over. You just accidentally put 2 seconds of the next song in this one.
I think it's intentional because they do it a couple times.
Well, no, I realize it's intentional, but what's the point if you're fading to black?
To rebuild the energy. I don't know.
It's half a second of the start of the next song.
It's to make you listen to the whole album. It's an album experience, Sam.
Yeah, all right. Jump into track number 3 if you're ready.
Track number 3, Kepler 22B, which has this like a real nice kind of jazzy piano and bass combo on it.
Yeah, it's got some real strong bass too. You can feel those drum bass hits.
I'd say this one takes the energy even a little farther down with kind of a deeper register, and of course the vocals are still pretty falsetto, kind of ghostly.
Man, but it's so falsetto in this one. You could tell the lyrics weren't gibberish, but it was hard to hear what they were saying.
Yeah, it's like floating so far above, it's hard to kind of even like grasp them.
Yeah.
Almost like fog. But it's got really full instrumentation underneath it, which, is kind of why the vocals aren't really the main focus.
Yeah, it's a real nice kind of bring the energy down even more. Man, there's several songs at this album that are just you vibe to them. And this is...
Yeah, there's some vibes on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are pretty rockin', some of them are kind of vibey. I appreciate the mix-up.
Yeah, this one's like almost to funk. It's like dipping its toes, a little splishy splash of it. Not much, but you can.
I think it comes from that bass guitar.
Yeah,
starts to get a little funky there in some of the breaks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of vibes, want to continue on to
track number 4.
Track number 4, Gaia, which is a different type of rock.
Yeah, so they attempted heavy metal.
Not their attempt. They've done full albums of this sound.
I really like the backing
Infinity
track.
Comes to mind.
I like the backing track.
Very different on this song.
Yeah, the singing is... I called it attempted metal vocals.
It's like almost guttural.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the vocal performance on this one.
So they have a lot of this vocal performance on Murder of the Universe, which is one of their albums that I don't much care for. I think this one's obviously pulling pretty heavily from that album.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not a fan of it. Not to say it's not succeeding at the vibe it's going for. It's got these like really chunky power chords.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, those kind of grisly semi-screamo vocals, which is quite a different take from the very whimsical falsetto ones that you have on the other songs for the most part.
There was a really odd tonal shift around 340 though. I like the direction that the song goes, but it doesn't really mesh with the metal vibe, the metal theme they were going for. And there's some elements that kind of shift it back, and then they just do a hard shift into the metal again at 540. But it was a very weird section.
King Gizzard's always been kind of odd in the fact that they they'll have albums like Paper Mache Dream Balloon or Sketches of Brunswick East, where it's like they're these very acoustic or light, almost yacht rocky inspired, very soft albums. And then they also have these heavy albums like Not a God Infinity or Murder of the Universe, where there's really chunky power chords and these screamo vocals. I've always preferred them when they're delivering on the lighter side of things.
Me as well.
But I can kind of see how, if they're seeing this as kind of a I guess kind of a celebration of their own band, how they're kind of incorporating both into the album.
And I mean, that's got to be part of how they release as much music as they do, right? They like doing a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, if you can't release 17 albums of the same thing.
No, you cannot. Yeah, I mean, it's the instrumental composition's good. the vocals were not very good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think the screamo vocals are quite as up to snuff as, obviously the guys, I think, more geared towards falsetto, but points for trying.
Jumping into track number 5 then.
Which is a very different track.
Yeah.
If everything from Tripping Taft and Magenta Mountain to Kepler were kind of bring down the energy, guy spikes it back up, and then Ambergris drops it all the way back down to this really smooth, just relaxing groove.
Yeah, a little bit of funk in the bass and some nice vibraphone just very far away in the back. And then you get that extra funky synth every once in a while. It just kind of peeks in every once in a while, but where the bass is just like, oh, I'm a little bit funky. That synth is like, yeah, I'm in a funk song.
Yeah. It's like little chocolate chips, you hit them, and you're like, ooh. Yeah, and the vocals are back to their ethereal kind of stacked nature. They're kind of floating in the background, which is good for this song.
There was that breakdown. There was such a good breakdown at 150. It lasts so few seconds, though. It's like there and gone. But man,
you're like, ooh, I want that bubbly synth back.
Yeah. I just want it to last longer. And then you've got a nice. Then there's the breakdown at 326-ish.
Yeah. We can choose to ignore that. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it didn't ruin the vibe of the song. I was like, just what are you guys doing here? Did somebody knock over a guitar?
5 seconds. Yeah, it's 5 seconds, these kind of cartoony falling break noises or something. I don't know.
But then it launches right into this amazing synth solo.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna choose to ignore that little. It's 5 seconds, so nothing egregious.
Oh, and then you get the duetting guitars. One in
the
one in the left ear is an octave higher than the one in the right ear. It was just 4 seconds. Why did they limit it to 4 seconds? That was such a nice effect.
I do appreciate that the song has a lot of good ideas that they kind of get you and then pull back. But the center groove's so good that
Yeah.
It's just icing on already good cake.
I want this one to be an 18-minute song. This one's you've got such good ideas in here, and you just touch on them for half a second, and you're like, no, go back. That was so good. Why'd you leave? And then they do it again.
The song definitely, the song leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
And then we
move
on to
track number 6.
Track number 6,
it changes
Sadie
completely.
Sorceress. It starts with this very whimsical kind of light synthy start, but then it goes right into this grimy kind of bare bones, 90s hip hop beat.
Call it what it is, Cooper. It's early 2000s rap.
It's Beastie Boys.
Yes, it's the
Let's really call
Boys.
it what it is. Yeah, this one's kind of a weird Beastie Boys knockoff.
But it's well done. I will say that. They really nail that one of the Beastie Boys in the background doing the higher pitch shouting on the hits.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's a ripoff, but it's pretty true to the roots there. Um, I mean, there's some interesting like spoken samples from some old TV show or something in there.
Yeah.
And I like that little like organ thing breakdown at the 1 minute mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, being very true to the style with the audio clips, you gotta have samples in your rap. And my biggest problem with this one actually is like the last 45 seconds. It's just bland. Like it's just a basic drum beat for like 30 seconds and then it fades out.
Yeah, which is a shame since the drumming on this album's so immaculate for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Just having this really boilerplate, drum loop is just kind of like, okay, this is when you focus on the drums.
Yeah,
right now.
Like you could have ended this so much sooner. Why did you hold that for so long? Yeah. I don't want to remember early 2000s rap, but this was well done.
I'm thinking this more callback to like the 90s rap.
Yeah.
Or I guess whenever Beastie Boys were big.
It's just a Beastie Boys song.
It's just a Beastie Boys song.
Sadie Sorceress, parentheses, by the Beastie Boys. Track number 7, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 7, Evilest Man.
This is...
Which kind of starts with this...
Yeah, sorry, no, go ahead.
No. This is an interesting one. It's got this very bubbly, I guess is the word, synth.
Yeah, it's bouncy.
But also a proper guitar groove underneath it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was... I don't know what I was expecting from a song titled The Evilest Man, but it wasn't this.
Yeah, it's actually quite a cheery song.
Yeah.
At least in terms of vocals. They're very bright and high.
You get a little bit of nice... I don't know how to describe it other than a very Gizzard-feeling drum track.
Yeah.
Just something about that drum line sounds very... like, if you played that just the drums for me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's from a King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard song. And some really some odd main synth line.
Yeah, this song kind of is kind of the entrance into some of the more off-kilter songs in this album, where they kind of not that any of these songs on the album haven't been weird, or they're like kind of it's hard to get your balance on them. I think kind of intentionally. It's kind of hard to track where the song is exactly going to go.
Yeah.
It's like this, mixture of, like high synth, happy lyrics, but also some hard-hitting guitars. And a kind of a little dark, like chorus breakdown.
Yeah. Yeah. And they definitely stretch out that evilest man to as many syllables as possible as well.
I do like that little synth solo they have, that one at the 3:45 mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird balance. There's some sections that have much harder instrumental track with that classic light and airy lyrics, and it strikes a really surprising balance that's quite nice, I think.
That's quite interesting. I mean, when we compare it to something like the Dripping Tap, which is 18 minutes long. Mm-hmm. It has a very consistent, I guess, tone. This guy's kind of ping-ponging all over the place. Yeah, still a solid 7-minute song.
Yeah,
so.
But it definitely doesn't stray too far from kind of what it shows you at the start.
Yeah, no, it always kind of yanks itself back.
Mm-hmm. It was an interesting experience, but it was a good one, I'd say.
I think it works for the most part.
Jump into track number 8 if you're ready.
Yes, track number 8, The Garden Goblin.
Or otherwise known as Attempting to Recreate the Spider in Me.
Which, yeah, that's almost exactly what I got.
Yeah.
With the... So are the vocals trying to sound kind of goblin-y?
Yes, I wrote the exact same thing. I said the vocals do sound slightly goblin-like.
Or it's like that slight little, ooh, I have the wares if you have the coin.
Yeah, just
vocal.
A little bit of that in there. But the vocalist was definitely talking to the goblin.
Yes. But maybe the vocalist was also a goblin.
Maybe.
Who's to say?
Got some nice bird song tossed in there.
Yeah, this is a very sketchy song.
Yeah.
A kind of high synth, the weird, the bird song in the background, the kind of weird garden goblin aspect of it.
Kind of some soft farty synth, as I said.
Yeah, the synth's a little farty, but I think it works.
And you've got
It
the
also
vocals
kind of,
singing duet with it too. Did you catch that?
yeah, I did. It kind of felt like the synth's kind of playing as like a vocal line.
Mm.
It's also got a pretty offbeat beat at the minute point where it breaks into like, I guess you could call it the chorus. It's like this almost kind of tribal offbeat vibe, but with like still the glittering vocals in the background, kind of chanting with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very, like I said, it's hard to kind of pin down.
It's a fun song. I like the line, couldn't he be friendly like the gnome?
I did like that one. So is a garden goblin like the evil version of a garden gnome? Is that the implication?
Like, maybe, I don't know. It sounds like he wants to kill him. Because the vocalist mentions the line of like, can't he just let me grow up like the garden or something like that?
See, this is what happens when you have a goblin infestation. You gotta hire a guy to come and spray your garden so you don't get goblins. They'll eat your potatoes.
Yeah, I'd rather have the spider infestation. As long as
spiders are good for.
As long as the vocalist from Spider and Me doesn't show up.
I think that man wants to have intercourse with a spider.
I think he succeeded in the song, if we're being honest.
Oh, Lord.
Jump into track number 9, if you're ready, Cody.
Yes, track number 9, Blame It on the Weather. Which just jumps right into it. There's no build-up on this one. This guy's just gliding right into it.
Shortest song on the album as well, at like 2:40.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just kind of jumps right into it. It's like very, the interesting vocal delivery still here.
Mm-hmm.
Very falsetto, but also very, like, I guess, exacting. There's like an odd, like, beat to it.
Yeah, it's a bit repetitive, but it's short. It knows what it is. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Very chill.
Yeah, it's also got this nice rock organ in the background.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, I kind of got sucked into this one, even though it was so short. Just after the Garden Goblin, I was thinking, and
you were thinking about goblins,
and the weather just kind of whisked me away, and then the song ended. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to classify some of these songs because I mean, I guess they're rock in like the most literal sense, but they're nowhere near something that is like easy to latch onto.
Right.
It's like, but very identifiably King Gizzard.
Absolutely. Hard to mistake it for anyone else, really.
All right, well, you just want to continue on to track number 12?
10.
Track number 10, sorry.
We're on track number 9.
I got my P songs mixed up. Track number 10, because 12 is presumptuous. This one's Persistence. Which has a much easier beat on it.
Yeah, it's pretty stripped back compared to other songs. It's got just drums, some heavy vocals for the breakdown. Just kind of empty, at least until the end of the song.
Like more of a sparse song. But I mean, once you hit like the 145 mark, it kind of breaks down to only vocals, and then it kind of, like you said, it kind of builds up in the back half.
But as it builds up, this was the other one I was talking about earlier. As it starts to open up, the vocal filter lifts, so the vocals become more clear, and it's a nice experience.
So it kind of leads to the first half of the song being like a little boring, but then it kind of has its payoff in the back half, where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. Which kind of makes the first half retroactively better.
Yeah, but definitely at the start, you're kind of like, well, there's not really much going on here, is it? But it's worth the payoff.
It's a nice little ditty.
Yeah, and not really a transition there between 10 and 11, I'll be honest.
I mean, yeah, it just kind of jumps right into it.
Very harsh cut.
Harsh cut to that kind of dour keyboard.
Yeah. Just speaking of jumping, 10 to 11, track number 11.
Yeah, track number 11, The Grim Reaper.
And guess who's back?
Back to the Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys are back.
You thought they'd only have one Beastie Boy song in this album?
Oh, no.
Except this one kind of plays this one's a little more interesting for me than what Sorcerer Sadie.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's got like it plays a lot with these semitones.
Yes, it does. And you know me, I love those.
You do.
You got a nice bit of flute in there as well.
Yeah, the flute's kind of the main driver of those semitones, or kind of adds like a more like kind of Egyptian vibe to it. There's also some string instrument I can't quite place that was in the background there, because it's probably like not anything I've ever heard the name of. Like the closest I can say is like an electric sitar.
Maybe it definitely sounded more. I don't know. What's that Asian instrument where they sit it across their lap? It was in Kung Fu Hustle.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I just can't recall the name.
Yeah, I don't know if they even said the name of it, but it makes me think of something like that.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting mashup, like because the rap delivery is still very Beastie Boys, but so this like very decidedly not Beastie Boys backing, which kind of endears me to it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely more interesting than the first Beastie Boys track.
Well, that one's more like a rip-off. This one's almost like deconstruction.
Yeah, but the instrumentals do a lot of work in this one.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of heavy lifting.
And it has a heck of a transition where I did not like the 10 to 11 transition. There's a smash cut from 11 to 12 that actually works pretty well, in my opinion.
I think just because of how audacious it is.
Probably.
Which is kind of like everything just drops out and it immediately goes into like this little groovy keyboard solo.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of smash cuts, track number 12.
Track number 12, Presumptuous.
And man, the start of this one is just it's like the kids messing around in the back of the room in band in high school. The percussionists. You got bongos, you got clackers, some triangle, and then a minute in we get maracas, and more bongos, and then some cabasa.
Yeah, the first like 2 minutes of it's like this like little like instrumentation's kind of jumping into the percussion. And then like 145, It goes right into that groove where all of the like instrumentations kind of combine.
There's a bit of a guitar solo, then that evolves into a duet with some flute.
Yeah, that guitar, I almost get like Santana vibes from it. Like good Santana.
Yeah, actual. When he played, well, he still plays well, but when it was a good songs.
When he made the songs,
right.
And he didn't have Christopher Santana, his nephew, picking them up in the basement.
It's just, this is such a light song. Really the only thing that doesn't do it for me in this one is the vocals. They're just a bit too harsh.
They're a little shouty, but they're like also so far away. Like they're kind of like intentionally far back.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like it. It's like someone's playing, like someone in the audience is like singing to it.
Yeah, and thankfully there's not a whole lot of vocals in this one, so I'll give them credit for that. But it's just, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that style with the insane instrumental. Excuse me, the just insane instrumental work that they had going on in this one.
It works, especially since it only really comes up during the chorus.
Yeah. Really is starting the end of the song. The rest is just that beautiful instrumental.
Such a good groove.
Jump into track number 13 if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 13, Predator X. Which starts with this kind of intense, slow, mysterious synth. Before we get... we're back to the screamo vocals. Here we go.
Oh boy. It's got some good guitar work, but there's just this section in the middle where it's just strumming, and it goes on for a little bit too long, and then it adds single drum hits, and then that goes on for a bit too long. It's not a big fan of this one.
Yeah, honestly, I think this song should have gone farther. Like, if you're gonna be like this kind of audacious with, like, you know, the screamo, chunky guitar chords, I want you to sell it. Right. I feel like it's a rare point in this album where, like, they underplay it.
Mm-hmm.
When I think they really should have just pushed the audacity on it. I mean, not to say that the guitars aren't chunky, any of the vocals aren't, you know, guttural, but I don't know. I feel like they could have pushed this to its logical conclusion. For now, it's just kind of like a subpar, you know, kind of hard rock song.
Yeah, with attempted metal vocal singing in it as well.
I get what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's like annoying, but
no, it's just jump into
it's like, okay.
Track 14 if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track 14, Red Smoke.
Got some really nice strong bass that carries this song. We've got a new vocal styling as well, which this late in the album, much needed to keep it from feeling too samey. And then you got the tactic that I always like, where you play the same line twice and put one line in each ear, so you got the same thing being played, but because they're different takes, they're slightly different. You got that in each ear for the acoustic guitar.
Yeah, no, I like the technical aspects of it like that, as well as it being I mean, I guess it just can make a very low-key vibe here. Some of the lower-key songs and the other ones have kind of built, but this one kind of maintains its relaxing vibe throughout, even with this like little synth keyboard solo at the 3-minute mark.
And I know this is structured, you know, it's got proper song structure, it's good, but it just feels a little bit bland to me compared to the rest of the album.
It's really lower energy, but yeah. I think that it's good to have that variety, especially, you know, kind of bring it down a little bit before the last proper song on the album.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a fine song. It's just like, I want them to do something crazy and wacky again, but you got to wind the album down.
Well, it does go into track number 15, Candles.
I really like how most of the lyrics in this one is just candles set in falsetto.
And honestly, I really like its delivery.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with like this very dreamy, wispy, low-key keyboard, you know, with the backing acoustic strumming. Before it goes into like this little candle chant, which actually I think it pairs extremely well with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Plus that backing instrumentation with like whatever they're doing with it's like a xylophone or something.
I was tempted to say glockenspiel, but it's probably
I think it's closer to the xylophone.
Yeah, it's
got a little more ring.
But yeah, no, it's a very nice chill song, which we needed Red Smoke to bring down to.
Also, whenever it breaks open at like the 2-minute mark, ooh. I just love that little like xylophone solo it's got going on.
Mm-hmm. Would have liked a little bit of vibraphone in there, but you know,
oh,
I'm just a sucker for that song. For that,
you do like your vibraphone, but yeah. I don't know. I just think the combination of the instrumentation, the vocals on the song works very well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the bass guitar is no slouch either.
Oh no. Yeah, it's just how many times do they say candles? We got to count it. It's a lot.
I mean, the chorus is just the word candles, but yeah, there's other words. There's a verse.
Yeah, no. I'm not complaining. I like it. I think it's fun. And jumping into the last track, then, track number 16, if you're ready.
Track number 16, The Funeral, which is really just kind of I guess it's more of an outro than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or just instrumentation, no vocals.
Some good Spanish guitar.
Yeah, some good Spanish guitar.
Shortest synth notes you've ever heard in your life.
Extremely short. And I think a wood block there in the background.
Yeah. It's wasn't it the hit thing? It's It's the wooden cowbell with the ball on it. I don't remember what that one's
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
I think it's
what
just
that
called
one's
like the slap something.
The slap something.
Slap block, maybe. Listen, I remembered Kabasa, but I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is it's more of like almost an extended like Spanish outro to Candles.
Yeah.
And this one's still a little spicier in the back end. It's got like it throws some la la las and kind of ups the energy a bit.
It's really good. It feels very Brunswick to me. Sketches of Brunswick East.
Yeah, like near the back half of the album when it gets a little darker.
Mm-hmm. But it's a great outro, and you got some of the funerals being said. They got to say the name of the song. They can't not say the name of the song.
It's the law. You have to.
But yeah, it's a good way to tie off the album.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, Sam, but like the last 6 seconds or so, there's a little beat that's happening about 60 beats per minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that.
Right at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a lead into Timeland?
I wonder what would happen if you played the funeral and then the start of the Timeland. I wonder if how that would line up.
I mean, probably line up. I mean, it sounded like about 60 beats per minute.
It did sound like 60 beats per minute.
But also, I don't want to listen to Timeland again, so I won't do that.
I don't know. I'd do it. I liked it more than you did, so maybe I'll try that later. But that's the album.
Yeah, it's a tight 80 minutes.
Yeah. Didn't feel that long, though, I will say. Did not feel that long.
I mean, I've listened to shorter albums that felt a lot longer.
Yes. From one man in particular.
But
he sings like this. Anyway, what is
he has a lot to say.
Yeah, he does. 17 minutes
Today,
about the JFK murder.
I'm going to tell you the history of tissue paper. In 1973, Matthew Tissue had a snotty nose.
Okay.
The song is 37 minutes long.
And 15 minutes of it is talking about my mom making me chicken noodle soup when I was sick.
Well, he has to make it personal.
Yeah. What's your favorite song, Coop? Actually, let's be downers first. We'll end it on a high. What's your least favorite song?
Ooh, I mean, I think we made it pretty clear on this album.
Yeah.
Where I've never been a huge fan of their more hard rock and screamo albums, and this album kind of cements it. Because Sadie Sorceress and Predator X, both not super big fans of.
Predator X was the worst one, though.
Yeah, out of the two, I kind of dislike Predator X.
Sadie Sorceress. No. That's the Beastie Boys. You mean Gaia?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Gaia. I got them mixed around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the Beastie Boy one slightly better. I think Sadie Sorceress is definitely the weakest of the Beastie Boy ones, but Gaia and Predator X are kind of not my cup of tea from their delivery. Yeah. I'm assuming there's something similar, Sam.
Yeah, Predator X is the worst with Gaia close behind. Because at least Gaia had some more stuff going on than Predator X. But what about your favorite track, Coop? Because I think I've got top 3.
Yeah, I got a top 4.
Well, why don't we start at the bottom and work our way up then?
Okay. For my 4, I'll say Candles.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually a very delightful outro.
If I picked a 4,
proper song,
it would probably be Candles as well.
For my number 3, I'd probably say Presumptuous.
Okay.
What about you? What's your number 3?
My number 3 was Evilest Man.
Okay.
Just because it was nice, fun, bouncy, had an interesting vocal style, harder instruments with classic light lyrics. It was a nice change.
Okay, well, for my second favorite, I'd probably have to go with The Dripping Tap.
Oh, okay.
The intro song. I mean, the audaciousness.
Yeah.
Of having your 88-minute album start with an 18-minute song.
I didn't realize
scored
Pink
points
Floyd
just for
was
that.
Still recording.
Yeah, no kidding. Pink Floyd would have 4 18-minute songs.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Each one named after a planet or something. No, but I mean, I'm just impressed by how it's able to both be coherent with itself, right?
Mhm.
Not like completely change up the mood every 5 minutes. Like really be like 4 different songs combined into one song. Like
Mhm.
this is one proper song, but it also keeps my interest, and that just major points for that, for being able to pull off that something that impressive. What about you, Sam?
Well, my number 2 was actually Presumptuous, so I ranked it one
okay.
higher than you did.
Okay. Also, very good song.
Yeah.
So presumptuous.
I'm curious if our number 1s are going to line up here. I think they are.
Okay, let's say it at the same time.
Okay.
Our number 1 is
Ambergris.
Ambergris. Yeah. There it is. Which,
Not
fun
quite
fact,
at the
is
same
actually
time, but
it's the word that's whale poop.
vomit. It's
I thought it was poop.
No, it's what's in there. They vomit it up, I believe.
I thought they pooped it out. Well,
it's
whale.
Well.
It's a whale
Gutty Works
byproduct.
Yeah. It used to be used. I don't know if it still is. It probably still is used for high-end perfume bases, like the base to the perfume.
But they have like synthetic replacements for it nowadays.
Because it's
I mean,
probably didn't gather it, in a
ethically.
very polite manner.
We'll just follow the whales until they have an upset tummy.
Yeah.
No, but Ambergris is that's a good song.
It is. It just keeps you wanting more.
I think it plays all the strong points that I like about King Gizzard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like great instrumentation, great vocals, great through line, strong vibe.
Just an all-around great song.
Just a great song. Well, all right. I think we've said our favorite and least favorite. How about we go over to our rating, Samuel?
Yeah, I'm down for that. Did you do it last time? I don't remember.
I think you did last time, okay. So I think it's my turn.
Go for it.
So here at the audio shop, me and Sam invented the car.
Yep.
Most people don't know this. I mean, you're probably thinking that wasn't invented like the early 20th century, maybe the late 19th century, when you have to be over 120 years old. To which we answer yes.
Yeah.
We just, turns out eating only bananas is the gift to eternal life.
Yeah, I'm sure finding the fountain of youth helped us as well, but
No, I'm pretty sure it's the bananas.
Yeah.
Just the potassium alone. Our body has turned to starch.
Yeah.
But thus we decided to make, our rating system car theme. So at the tip top, the cream of the crop, you got Showroom, which is, this is, as close to perfect as an album can get. And you'll be playing this in your head for the rest of your life. Then all the way down to the bottom, you got Scrapyard. This is the bottom of the barrel. This is this is the icky. This is whenever something like leaks out of your like milk and like it's on the bottom of the milk and you have to like clean the fridge because it's like sticky. That's what this album is if it's a Scrapyard.
Sometimes it's even the juice that leaks out of the trash bag.
Yeah, exactly. It's trash bag juice. It's just no purpose is served here. You can't listen to it. Or you never want to listen to it again. And then in between, new, used rental, fixer-upper, depending on, how we're feeling. So Samuel, how would you rate this album?
I think I have to go with a very high like new. Maybe I'm tempted to go Showroom. So I don't know. Maybe it's a like Showroom. Cause it's close. But I just think the Beastie Boys bits, while the second one's good, the first one's not so great. And the two metal things, I think, drag it down enough to bring it into the realm of like new. But it's close. It's towing that line. But yeah, all around, I really enjoy this album. Pluck out the two, the metal bits, I'd probably listen to it all the way through again.
I think we're in complete agreement, Sam. Where I'd also give it a very high like new. Like you said, there's some fat to be trimmed. I mean, 80-minute album. I think it'd be difficult to have every song be a banger.
Right. But they were close.
They were very close to hitting that mark. I mean, like you said, the metal songs or the Screamo songs, not a big fan. BC Ware songs, not a great fan. So I can't in good conscience give it a showroom because there's enough in there that I don't like that I can't put it that high. Ooh, but the strong points are so strong.
Yes,
it's
and
definitely
the lows aren't that low.
Yeah, even the ones I don't like are just like either boring or I think just kind of missed the mark. They're not like terrible.
Right.
So yeah, I think this is a solid. This is not perfect, but very, very great. Certainly one of my favorite albums they've put out in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is I can't remember what we gave Butterfly 3000, but I don't remember it, so it can't be as good as this one.
Oh yeah, Butterfly 3000 wasn't near as good as this album. I'm trying to think of the last one I would say I liked more than this one. Certainly not Timeland.
Yeah.
And KG and LW were both good. Infest the Rastiness was a good one. Honestly, you probably have to go back to Sketches of Brunswick East.
Yeah.
Which was like 8 albums ago. Not so they haven't had good albums in between, but like in terms of like quality, I think those are the most comparable too. And I still like that album more than this album.
Right.
But this one's still really good.
Yeah, this is really good. And if this is what they're doing in the studio, whew, it's gonna be exciting.
Honestly, I mean, I think it shows that they got a lot of tricks in their bag, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maybe not as cohesive as some of their other albums where they kind of stick to a single sound, but I think it kind of shows how versatile as a band they can be.
Yeah, and I kind of like that they jump around all over the place. It's for being such a long album, the fact that they always keep you on your toes guessing what's coming next really helps it.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, makes me excited. I'm still excited for a new King Gizzard. I'm 20 albums in, still excited for the next one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's hard to say for a lot of artists.
Absolutely. Yeah. Imagine Dragons and Panic at the Disco would like a word with that.
Yeah, they didn't even get to like what 5.
No. How deep is Coldplay? When was their first bad one?
Probably Ghost Stories. And that was like 6 albums in, something like that.
Yeah, so not. Usually it happens much sooner than what we've seen.
Yeah, I'm consistently impressed by King Gizzard's ability to pump out albums very frequently, and for the most part, being high quality.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just those wacky men in the Lane Down Under, they know what they're doing with their music.
They do indeed, and I hope there's another one. Maybe take a break, guys. Maybe don't release one this month, but
they don't release 5 albums a year. They can't make rent. They have a terrible contract.
The first album of every year is always a Big Mac with cheese. No drink, no fries.
They get $1,000 per album, so they just gotta.
$5,000 a year. That's not very good.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Well, let's. Oh man. Excuse me. Roll on over to the Spare Tire now, because that's the album.
That is the album.
And this is just whatever else we've been listening to. So I checked out Thundercat, like you suggested, Coop.
Okay. What'd you think?
Was not expecting what I got. I was expecting, just some classic funk, not some guy in a Dragon Ball do-rag trying to hit up a bunch of women.
Oh, you listened to his newest album.
Yeah.
That one's okay. I'm more partial to Drunk or Golden Age of the Apocalypse is also fantastic.
Okay, I might have to dig back into
if you want to give him a second chance, I'd start with Drunk.
I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was interesting. I thought it was more funny than... I mean, it was very good. Excuse me, very good sound, but it just... No. It wasn't what I was expecting.
That one's a little goofier than some of his older stuff. Kind of intentionally so. So if you want something that's a little more...
makes it even goofier.
That is a pretty funny music video. Now I listened to Drunk if you want something that's a little less goofy.
But yeah, that was good. Yeah, I didn't listen to a ton this week because when I was in the back at work, instead of pulling up an album, I pulled up Technology Connections, a YouTube channel I really like who makes video essays about light bulbs and dishwashers. So
Does
What
he
about
make
you?
I've been on the kind of an atmospheric mood these last couple days, or this last week. I've been listening to a lot of R. McCarthy, kind of like this synth atmospheric guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some Hiroshi Yoshimura. It's kind of like this Japanese kind of ambient artist. Yeah, kind of been on an ambient vibe lately. Something just pure vibes.
Yeah, something you
Um,
could chill out and or study to.
yes, I agree to it mostly. So in a way, I am chilling and or studying too. No hip hop beats, but definitely chilling. Yeah, so I've kind of been focused on that headspace.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say spring's a
Okay.
good time for that.
Yeah, so just listening to some ambient Japanese electronica. It's
Yeah.
good ambient music whenever it has like the years that the music was made in the title. If it says something like ambient works 1993 to 1997, then that's how you know it's good stuff.
I might have to check that out. I'm starting to get out into the. It's starting to get time to dust off the the Hot Girl Summer playlist for me. So
So have the ambient spring before you go into hot quirked up white boy summer.
yeah. When I got the windows down and Hot for Teacher starts blaring and I feel like I could run home from work all 45-minute drive of it. But
Good
yeah,
song. Pretty sexist.
yeah, no, it is, but it's just on the list of songs to run to, that really get your heart rate pumping just from listening to them.
Would you like to borrow my pencil? No, Edward, I would not. I think you should keep it professional in the classroom. This is bordering on sexual perversion, and I would
Also,
appreciate
you're like
if you
a
focused
fifth
on your
grader.
studies.
Why do you have a beard?
Wait a second, you guys are in your mid-30s. What are you doing here?
Anyway, that's the podcast. If you've liked what you heard and you're on Twitch, you can scroll down, click the photo of Jeff Lynn. He's the guy with the aviators on. That'll take you to our YouTube, where all the past episodes are archived, minus the one Supertramp one. And if you're on YouTube and you want to listen to us live, in the description, there's the Twitch. Click on that. Sundays, most of the time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I think we're going to be a bit more consistent. I'm going to be around next weekend now, so we probably can do next weekend if you can do next
There
weekend.
we go. What, 3 weekends in a row?
I know.
I'm not sure if our audience can handle it.
Let's get a little bit. What is this, a job? Jeez, I don't think I can handle that. But yeah, if you got a suggestion, you can put it in the suggestion box. Probably won't get touched for at least a year and a half, just warning you now. But
I like to let it marinate.
Yeah.
2019 vintage.
Yeah. And where can they find us on Twitter, Cooper?
Well, if you want to follow us on Twitter,
Well, it still
you can
exists.
follow us at Audio Shop Pod. That's POD. Sorry, I have to. Please buy Tesla. Sorry, that's just
Yes.
I was requested. I have to say that now.
Man, fuck.
And
fuck billionaires.
Look, it's just $43 billion, Sam. Chump change, pocket money.
How much haven't they done studies? How much does it take to end homelessness or end food scarcity around the whole world? I'm pretty sure it was only 40.
Yeah, but then he doesn't own Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get that much money without being a sociopath, so.
Hey. Just because his father made his fortune mostly from blood diamonds. Or some sort of emerald mine. Blood emeralds, thank you.
And then he just buy things and claims to have invented them. SpaceX, he didn't invent shit. Tesla, he didn't invent shit. Like, all he does is buy shit. And for some reason, there's always a line of tech boys there to suck his dick. It's insane.
Sam, can you please stop insulting the inventor of Twitter, Elon Musk?
For fuck's sake.
Man's a genius.
Doesn't even own it yet. Fuck off.
No, but you can follow us at Audio Shop Pod. We'll let you know what we're listening to and when we're listening to it. So you can get a little head start, a little sneak peek.
Yeah. But that's all we got. Thank you so much for listening. and we will see you next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See ya.